Hi, welcome to How to Grow Your Business with Kevin Willett. As you can see, I got my friend Jennifer Yousem with us from I Heart EBITDA. Good morning, Jennifer. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Kevin?
Just living the dream, my friend. Jen, before we jump in, tell me a little bit about your business so people know your background.
Yeah. My background is I was a finance professional, CFO in the media and entertainment business for a long time. And now I run I Heart EBITDA. We're an outsourced bookkeeping, controller, and fractional CFO advisory company for the mid-market.
So, Jen, I have a little bit of a different topic for this segment. I want to talk about understanding the importance of patterns in your numbers. Where I laugh as a small business owner, you have to review your statements. Okay, Jen, I printed out the balance sheet. There it is. Yep, yep. I got one of those. I got an income statement, cash flow, but then we don't know what to do with it. Talk to me about, A, what a pattern is and why I should be looking for it.
So this is one of my favorite topics because once this clicks for people, it makes it so much easier to review your numbers. And listen, I know we send financials to people every month. Could count on my one hand the number of our clients that actually look at them.
Yeah.
So the importance of reviewing that is if you know that your margins are 30 to 40%, and that's what you're targeting. When you get your income statement every month and you see your margins were 20% or your margins were 80%, it's an immediate red flag to look into something. So if you see that they're in the 30 to 40%, you don't have to do as much deep diving.
Yep.
So the patterns that we want to look for are every month are my margins between 30 and 40 because that's what I think they are. And anything outside of that is a yellow or red flag that we need to do some deep diving. If the margins are too high, were there some costs missing? Or if there weren't, how do I duplicate that? If the margins are too low, is my pricing model off? Maybe I had one job go bad, or maybe I had to eat the costs on something. You just want to understand the whys. You have to do less digging on the months when you're in the normal pattern of where you should be.
So, Jen, one of the things you've talked to me about in the past is understanding your profitability on your projects, where some of us, unfortunately, we chase money, Jen. And we know that we shouldn't spend time doing that because, like you said, the margins are too low. And
Mhm.
there is opportunity cost. There's only so many hours in the day. So I should understand my profitability by product. If say you're a construction person, hey, this is where we're making the bulk of our money so that we don't end up getting lower overall profits because we chase projects that would maybe just too small for our company.
Yes. And again, that's kind of dialing in on projects. And if you use, construction is a great one because it's all project based. Maybe you start to recognize a pattern that jobs under X amount of dollars, these smaller jobs, to your point, chasing money, maybe they make you less money. So you only have so much capacity to do those smaller jobs. And maybe the bigger ones, you have more opportunity to make more money, but you really only have capacity to bring in one or two of those. So you want to kind of balance your portfolio of how many small projects versus large projects. Again, it's everyone can do what they want to do. I'm not telling them to do one or the other. I'm telling them to be armed with the knowledge that if I take this job, I'm going to make less money on it. I know that going into it, as opposed to finishing the job and being surprised that I didn't make as much money this.
Jen, I see a lot of companies struggle with this as we grow. We're just starting out and Jen, we got to pay the bills. I'm going to take the revenue.
I understand that.
Just forget it. But as we grow, we have to understand this so we don't keep doing that. Like, yeah, but Kev, you got those four smaller projects, and but you didn't bid on the bigger one that would have helped your company more. So I know I'm not going to let you plug yourself because I'm going to plug you instead. But this is why you really need, either if you don't have that skill set within your business, you need to hire a knowledgeable bookkeeper just to tell you what you just said earlier. Hey, Kev, you can do what you want, but understand this is what happens in each project. Now you can make an educated decision, right?
It's just I think people think when they hire us, there's going to be, or hire somebody to look at their numbers, there's going to be some type of scolding, or
Yep.
we're only there to organize the financials in a way that helps you run your business better. And, getting back to the pattern recognition, obviously the margin piece of it is big, but also understanding your fixed costs, your operating expenses, like what goes out the door every month, regardless of whether or not I make a sale. Every business owner should have that number buried in their head and be able to say that off the top of their head every month. I know my operating expenses are $20,000 a month. Like,
Yep.
that helps you make those decisions about which jobs to take and which not.
I see this with my friends who buy like a nice car. Hey, CEO, I want to have that's great, Jen, but understand that cost. Or they rent a storefront. I'm like, Jen, your business really doesn't need a storefront and it's expensive. And again, that's what you want to do because you want everyone driving down Main Street to see your sign. That's okay, but you got to understand what's involved in doing that. And maybe sometimes our ego gets the better of us. Got to know that stuff, right?
Yeah. It's, again, not about tisk tisk, not about, it's just knowledge. That's it. You
Yep.
can make whatever decision. I mean, listen, it's no different than people's personal finances.
Sure. Yep.
People make decisions on houses, right? Houses they want to buy, things they want to do based on, you know, I think they should base it on future earning potential. A lot of people base it on here's where I am now. And
Yep.
then, the piper comes calling 6 months later and you're
Yep.
in a big hole. So
Yep.
there's
Yep.
really no difference.
So, Jen, if people have some questions about this subject, what's the best way for them to reach out to you to learn more and get some advice?
Absolutely. Check out our website, iheartebitda.com.
Jen, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks for having me.